Aeneid, Book 1, 180 to 197. So while everybody is kind of tired out and exhausted from the big old storm, and they've got their um, bread making equipment down there and they're trying to regroup, we actually see Aeneas doing something heroic. In the meantime, Aeneas ascends the scopulum, the cliff, and it's kind of a wordplay. He's scopulum means to scope out, so he's ascending the cliff, and he seeks the whole prospect, the whole view, uh, widely to the sea, probably dative of directions. If he might, it's kind of a deliberative subjunctive. If he might, potential. If he might see aliqua in anywhere, if he might see in anywhere, or pardon me, not anywhere, any anthea, which is the accusative, Greek accusative of Antheus, having been tossed by the winds, and the Phrygian, or another word for the Trojan, biremes, two banked oar ships, even though at the time the Homeric heroes only had one banked oar ships. But Aeneas is going back to what his audience would know. Or if he could see Capys, or object phrase the arms of Caicus on his high poop decks, which is sterns. So apparently the heroes would, these captains of his, who were his trusted lieutenants, would put their own arms on the, which would be the shield, on the brow of the ship, so people would know whose ship it was. And he beholds no ship in sight. So he goes up there and he doesn't see anything. But Ascendaton, he sees, understood, three stags or deers wandering on the shore. And a whole herds, accusative neuter plural, no, pardon me, accusative nominative neuter plural, whole herds follow these guys from behind. Notice there is a concept of arms here. There's an army of deer, so it's not exactly the big fight scene we were hoping for. And a long troop. So there's this concept of some type of struggle, because this is a battle line found in Caesar as well. And a whole battle line feeds through the valleys. He stood. So he says, aha, something to do. And he does seize the bow and swift arrows, ablative means phrase, with his hand, which weapons faithful Achates, always Phaedrus Achates, was carrying. So he says, here you go, boss. Go wipe out some deer. Be a hero. And firstly, he staring strews or lays low the ductors ipsos, the leaders themselves. So these three guys, these three deer who were in charge, they're dead now. Bearing their capita alta, their high heads, ablative of quality, ablative of description, ablative of respect, ablative of specification. They all say much the same thing, with their arboribus cornibus, with their tree horns. So these are big deer. They've got horns like trees. So it is kind of heroic. Then the common herd, the peoples, and then he lays out the common people, the not the common people, but in this case the common deers. So he's killed out the heroes. Now he takes out the rest of them, these dangerous deer, and driving, understood them, with his ablative means phrase weapons amongst the frondy grove. So it's a leafy groves. He mingles up all the multitude. So it's no longer an agmen of peaceful deer walking around. These deer are running from their lives. because Aeneas is going to show that he's a hero. Nor does he stop before a victor. Nor does the victor even stop before. So Aeneas is heroic, somewhat wimpy heroism, but something. Nor does he stop before he, on the ground, he stretches the fundat. Notice this is a subjunctive, it's a purpose clause, stretches on the ground 7 vast bodies and equals the number with the ships. So he's going to feed people. Thusly, hence, he seeks the harbor, and he partitor parts them out into all his companions. Here's some deer, we went through it. Then the hero, which is Aeneas, divides out the wine, which Gudicates, Acestes, that's the guy who was in charge of Sicily, had loaded, ablative of place phrase, in Tyrian casks, Trinarchian casks. So in other words, this is pretty good wine. On the shore, and had given them to them dative participle here, given to them departing. The participle is an adjective, so it's standing in the place of a noun. And he soothes, mulkets, just like Neptune did, their mourning chests, their sad chests, ablative, means phrase with these words. So we have Aeneas going up as a hero, sort of. He says he's a victor, but it's not a great victory. He's not fighting bears or lions. He's eating on deer, hunting deer, which is not exactly that exciting, but it does show his concern for his people, dividing the food among the ships and getting out the wine, and a reference to Acestes, who was the king of Sicily, a Trojan who had made his own kingdom. So the Trojans are now being fed. So it does show a picture of Aeneas somewhat heroically, but not the hero the Romans would expect. Kind of a boring hero, kind of like the superhero you send out to get sandwiches. But he does show a concern for his people, trying to find the rest of his stragglers. So what will occur? What words will he say to soothe his breasts of the sad people? How will Aeneas turn this around? Will he show his leadership, or will he be a whiny little girl as we saw him in the storm? All this and more questions will be asked next time we tune in, true believers. And until then, Excelsior.